Hi everybody, this is Trish from Art Journal Junkie. Today I'm going to work directly into my journal. It's a Moleskine journal which I've already prepared with a jelly print that I made some time ago. The jelly print was made using colours that really aren't in my colour scheme, so I just zhuzhed it up a little bit with some gold acrylic paint and some distress ink over a stencil. I cut 2 pages out of my cheap romance novel and cut out 2 hearts. You can see the heart on the right is a little bit darker and more intense. That's because I used inks. And on the left hand side I played around with gelatos and acrylics. Now I've taken a piece of cardstock here and you can see I'm just marking out the size that I want my main object to be. And I'm drawing the shape of an eye. I'm not a fine artist by any means, but I do know that the shape of an eye should be around about an almond or a flat lemon. So all I'm doing is I'm making a shape that pleases my eye, and I'm going to cut it out with a pair of scissors. So now I'm going to take some watery gel medium and stick the cardstock eye to the center of my heart. Of course you could use a glue stick, you could use tacky glue, craft glue, whatever you have at hand, but I particularly like working with gel medium. And I'm not scared to lay it on thick either. Just touching up at the sides to make sure that it sticks down properly. And you can see once I press it in, I get a bit of an oopsie on the left hand side with a lot of glue, but that's okay. It's very easy to get rid of that. There's nothing that a baby wipe can't handle. Sorry that took so long. I had to find a clean one, but as you can see, it wasn't clean for very much longer. There was lots of ink that came off. Now I'm taking my Caran D'Ache pencils. They're lovely, they're creamy, they're easy to work with. And because this is my mixed media journal, I'm using absolutely everything that I have in my stash. So as I said earlier, this is not meant to be a realistic eye. So I'm just coloring in and having fun with the pencils. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit because I didn't dry off the cardstock, and so the gel medium beneath has made it a little bit soggy. No worries, I just keep going. the eye just wasn't popping for me. So I decided to leave it alone a while and concentrate on highlighting the hearts. Now you'll see I'm using a Faber Castell brush pen, and it's an alcohol marker. So I draw a short line and then smudge it in with my fingers. If I didn't smudge it, it would leave a solid line, and that's not the effect that I wanted. I got out my Gelatos and used two colors, a turquoise and a deeper sort of blue. And this is the beauty of mixed media. If you mess up, you can back up. So I started adding color to the iris and needed a little bit more definition, so I pulled out another gelato, which is a purpley color, and added that in as well. It's starting to look better. And out with the good old crayons, the watercolor crayons, just to give a little bit more of a white sort of accent and highlight to the eye. And the same with some of the black. Give this lady a little bit of mascara there. And finally, I was happy with what I had drawn. The eye is the window, or the eyes are the window to the soul. This one is my eye, my window to my soul. So here you'll see I have taken some tissue paper, and I want to write my sentiment straight onto into my journal. The problem is you're sometimes a little bit nervous, and so this is a great way to add a sentiment, because if you mess it up you just throw the tissue paper away. So I've written my sentiment into the places or around the artwork, and here I'm just using my own handwriting and setting out the sentiment onto the tissue paper. I did a course with JOANNE Sharpe some time ago, and I'm using her technique, her thicket technique here, to thicken up each letter of my sentiment. It's simple, it's easy to do, and I'm using my own font, which is my own handwriting. When you're working with tissue paper, it's preferable to tear it out. But you know, I'm a nervous soul, and I'm so scared that I'm going to tear into my sentiment that I decided to cut it out. Not the smartest move, but I made it work. Now I'm securing this to my journal page with my watery gel medium, and as you can see the tissue paper adheres quite quickly, and you must put some gel medium over the top to make sure that it let's call it, fades into the background. Now I've used white tissue paper here, which will dull the artwork in the background, but I'm going to fix that in a moment. You can see that I pulled a piece of the tissue paper off on the word sometimes, on the capital letter S. That's okay, I'll go back and fix it up in a moment. Be very gentle when you do this so that you don't tear the tissue away. And here you'll see that I'm fixing up where I lost the small piece of the tissue paper. Now, because the tissue paper, as I said, was white, you can see where I've stuck it down. So I'm just going to layer a little bit of acrylic red on top of it to help it fade into the background. And then also just a little touch of gold against the tissue paper edges that are overlaid against the background. And a final little touch up with my Sharpie, and I'm ready to journal. I do use my art journals to actually journal in as well. So here I've written the date, I've journaled in it, and then finally I've put my stamp, and my page is done, and my heart is happy.